Good morning. I apologize for being a little late. It is 6 o'clock in the morning here in Japan, and I mean Japan. I was in Japan, and I am still like struggling to get um that out of my mind that I'm no longer in Japan. We're in Hawaii now, but my son and my husband are still asleep. So hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me check the mic. Fantastic. So, welcome to my first Spilling the AI tea. And I really wanted 2026 for me to be a space where I could do all the things that I've been wanting to do. I've been learning about AI for a while now, and underneath some amazing coaches. And I know so much that I need a space where I can kind of vomit and brain dump all of the geniusness that's happening in a way for you to absorb better, because I know it can get overwhelming. One of the things that I can commonly attest to, even in my master classes that I'm paying to be part of, there's women in there who are 1000% heart led. They may be empathic based on how they're talking, and they are overwhelmed at the speed of everything. They love being in those rooms and like watching our coach teaches about the latest and greatest, but then it's like, how do I implement this? How do I decide? You get information overload, and this series that I want to do twice a month is really to help you understand what's happening in AI space. I was part of a 3-day summit this past week, and the speaker that's hosting it, Alicia Little, kept saying AI is moving at the speed of AI. And that is essentially true. Like, it is crazy what is happening. So if you're new to the AI space, you've never even used AI, you're in the right space. My name's Anna Connie Walters. I am the founder and CEO of Empower Her Wave. I'm also a nurse turned entrepreneur. I used to be in the medical field, started off in emergency medicine, was in surgical oncology for a really long time, and then left everything to start my own business as a master stand-up paddleboard instructor. I wasn't a master stand-up paddleboard instructor at the time that I started that business, but that's kind of where I've grown. And then I got pregnant at 40 and pivoted because clearly I could not continue to teach stand-up paddleboarding with a baby, or while I was, far along in terms of my pregnancy. So I pivoted and I started teaching pre and postnatal yoga. And then I started teaching baby and me yoga. And then eventually I taught toddler and me yoga. So I am in the wellness space. I work with birth workers because of my proximity to the type of yoga I decided to teach. My husband's also active duty Marine. And so I'm also a military spouse that uses my yoga powers to help active duty military members to learn how to do yoga, to de-stress, to stretch, to improve their life mentally and physically. So I was in Okinawa, Japan. I just relocated. And before I lose you, I'm going to screen share. I have a little presentation for y'all. And again, today is about learning not every AI tool. It is about learning how to decide what actually works for you. So I think that most overwhelm comes from trying to keep up instead of in choosing intentionality in the things that you choose to use. So, for example, we're going to be talking about ChatGPT's new image improvements. Like, it is crazy, just wild what the improvement is. And so I made these two, and the first one is pretty vague. Make me an image of a woman drinking tea. That's pretty good. But now we're starting to learn how to prompt better. Make me an image of a serene, confident woman with a gentle smile sitting cross legged in a peaceful sunlit room with soft white curtains, natural wooden floors surrounded by lush green plants, delicate pastel flowers, warm natural light filtering through large windows, creating soft shadows, minimalist, clean interior design, emphasizing calmness, smoothing neutral color palette with a soft pink, light blue, digital art with smooth brushstrokes, inspired by calm aesthetic of contemporary wellness branding, softly focused with a light glow effect to enhance warmth and trustworthiness. I can 100% change that prompt so that it gives me, instead of a digital art image, a realistic image, a cinematic image. When you start learning with intention about the right things that we need to know in AI, we can truly start to make our own magic. So, as we move into this, I want to just kind of, before I keep going, I want you to, for a second, just rub your hands together and just start to feel that fire in your hands. And then I want you to place them on your heart. Take a nice inhale through your nose into your belly, ribs, chest, shoulders up. Push them back and down as you exhale from your nose. Now, I want you to take your right hand. I want you to make it circle. And I want you to bring it back to the front of you. What did I just have you do? Again, inhale, putting your arms around your head. Exhale, bring it back down to your heart. I've just cloaked you with a possibility scarf. Okay. When you're watching these series, I want you to just put your possibility scarf on. Think about the simple ways that you can take what I'm teaching you as the updates. I think that these updates are going to be powerful. And I want you to start thinking with your possibility scarf that we've just cloaked you with on how this works for you in your business and in your season of life. Okay? Just do that little thing for me. So, for every update, I'll tell you one mistake to avoid and one simple way to think about it. And essentially, how I would love for this to work for you today is I just want to change the tone from this passive talk of you oh yeah, AI is like this nice thing that I should be doing, to actually actively going out there and being curious with your possibility scarf on and just play and test and see what happens. Take one idea per section, one thing that you could try today. Just pick one. I'm going to go over a few things that are major updates that I think you should be aware of. And then one thing that you can safely ignore. So choose one that you're going to focus on, one thing that you're going to try today, and then choose one that you're going to just kind of ignore for now. Because I really want you to set realistic expectations, because if you come into these sessions with this mindset that yeah, it's going to be awesome and I'm going to just do all the things, just like they say, when you talk to everyone, you talk to no one. When you try to do all the things in AI, you end up doing nothing. When you're trying to do all the things, that's number one productivity duper. If you're trying to be productive, so I have a brain coach. His name's Jim Quick. And for those of you who don't know, I read my first book when I was 30. I found out when I was 25 I was illiterate. I had the reading level of an eighth grader. It was awful. I was coming home from, well, I was, going to work, to the clinic. I was riding the bus. I was in DC, and I picked up one of them free Washington Post papers from the Metro and could not read the paper at all. I kept reading the same paragraph over and over and over. Eventually I figured out I didn't know how to read, and it sucked. And the thing is that when I did finally learn how to read and I started reading books for pleasure, my mind was mind blown at all the things that I've been missing out finally feeling like I'm in like the cool kids club because I didn't really understand why people bothered reading for pleasure. I was like, y'all are tripping. I hired a brain coach when I really started getting into self development, and it really taught me that we are limitless in our powers with our brain of what we can do and what we can learn, and that the speed that we can do all these things. But there are things that we tell ourselves that we're good at, such as being a multitasker. And he's like, no, it is humanly impossible. Whatever you're doing, and then the other thing that you're trying to do at the same time, one of them, you cannot give 100% to both. You can only give a certain percentage to one, and the other one will always suffer. And if you're giving, like, well, I'm going to do 50 and 50, that sounds fair, then you're really not going to learn anything. You're not going to implement anything. You're not going to do the one thing that you should have focused on and then did the other thing 100% and 100%. And I love the saying that I always teach in my yoga class: how you do one thing is how you do everything. So please be intentional when you're here with me about what we're learning. Okay. So, images, we're talking about ChatGPT's new image update. And I feel like images aren't about looking good, they are about reducing friction. Because again, I'm talking to you as the woman wellness entrepreneur, the birth worker, the yoga instructor, the water sports instructor, the energy healer, the woman's wellness coach. That's how I want you to think about and placing yourself when you're watching this. Not just the possibilities of infinity, but how does this work for you right now in your businesses? Images are essentially our decision tools. They really help us from start and not just the finish part. They ease the overwhelm of having to create images for one. They're quick visuals to really help us attract the right people by visually giving them what we need and the vibe that we're trying to create for them. It helps you 1000% align with your brand crazy quick, and it is not about perfection anymore. So I'm going to give you a little demo. We're going to create a prompt. I've already done it for us, and we're going to dive straight into ChatGPT. So if you've never used ChatGPT, you can do this using the free version of ChatGPT. You do not need to upgrade to the pro. And I'm going to screen share. You can go and sign up for a free account, you guys. If you are not signed up for a free account, what is this thing doing? Sorry. Trying to get our screen ready. Please do it now. All right. So this is ChatGPT, and I am going to kind of increase this a little so you can see the whole screen. There we go. All right. So I should be able to see comments if hopefully y'all if there's comments. Anyways, okay. So this is how you saw it. I did the first one. Create an image of a woman drinking the tea, and that's what he gave me. And then I asked for the second one. I could 1000% make this, copy this one. Okay, so this is how you activate it. We need to click this plus sign here, and all I'm in is just a new chat. I didn't do anything else special, but you do have to activate this thing. So when I click this plus button, it brought up this create image. And you just want to make sure that this shows up when you create image. Now, I will say I've been playing around with it, and sometimes I forget to initiate that. Before, it used to make a huge difference. Now I kind of feel like it understands when I'm trying to make images and when I'm not. And like I said, I could totally so this is how you would change a serene, confident, let's just put Latin woman with a gentle smile. We're going to do color palette, soft pinks and light teals. Okay, because those are my brand colors. And then instead of digital art, we're going to say realistic personal branding photo shoot. We're going to take out the strokes because that has to do with more like the digital art for contemporary wellness branding. Okay. And you're just going to let it go. Now I could, so this is what we call the lottery, the image lottery. Normally it only gives you one image, but it's randomly chosen us today for this beautiful demo to essentially give us two different versions. So it's like, I'm not really sure what you're looking for, and it's training itself. So it's going to give you two different images, and it's going to ask you which one do you prefer better so that it can learn for future references for its like normal development. This is this is like how AI is now teaching itself based on what we say and what we actually like want. And I think for future references will help us so that we are minimizing um, how we are. Let's see if this one's better. Yeah. How we are using our time, because if it's not getting what we're actually looking for, then we end up going in there, spending a lot of time tweaking. Now, from my perspective, there's not too much difference. Like she has flowers here and not here. Like this space is more open, this space has more greenery. She looks a little bit more closer, more relaxed, more youthful. And I could have been specified and give it some age reference. Like I'm 44, I don't want to look like I'm 20. And this one. So I don't think anyone's live. No. But if you wanted to choose one or the other, I kind of like this one because it's more simple. So I'm going to say that. Okay. And when you click on it, you can select like a specific area. And you can type it and be like, please, select what you're talking about so it understands. Like, I can have her, let's see if it works. I can have her hands, like, please place her hands in a prayer position at heart center. Okay. Because this is how we would normally do it for like namaste. And I'm circling her hands so that it understands what I'm actually talking about. I could have probably just typed that prompt and it probably would have gotten the gifs of it. So if this is helpful to you, let me know. If you are creating images, I don't know if you can, I don't think you're allowed to share your images in the chat. But I would love for you to tag me at Empower Her Wave on Instagram or on Facebook. And I'd love to shout you out. Or you should join our free community. So this does take a little bit of time. But I wanted to show you, let's see, up here. I created something very much simpler. And this was the prompt that I used. Create a calm professional image of a Latin woman's wellness business. Well, it's supposed to say for. Soft light, neutral colors, peaceful energy, not salesy. Now, this is what I added. Use my brand tones: dark teal, empowerment pink, and mint green. She is a birth worker, and I put hash like slash doula because sometimes when I use doula, it doesn't understand what it is yet. Getting ready in her home office for a birthing class. Now, see here, it's telling me that it has finished our design. Look at that, you guys. Boom. And I could have it now age her. Like, this is beautiful, but can you make her look more like she's in her 40s? Can you change her to look more ethnic? Can you change her skin color to be more caramel? Whatever you want. Now, this is I'm going to give you the little thing to not do. Think about this stuff. It's about intentionality. If those are the things, like you are not white with blondish brown, light brown hair, and you're trying to do this for yourself, don't do that. Now, here's the amazing thing that I want to show you. We're going to take the space prompt and we're going to create that image. And now I am going to add a picture of myself. I want to go to my downloads. And this is the amazingness and the power of this upgrade. So I got to pick a good one. I'm going to pick this one. I'll do this one. Okay. So I like to use my manners when I talk to ChatGPT. Please. Oops. Because again, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if you're impatient and speak rudely to like demanding, and using like no manners, no like normal human courtesy to ChatGPT, guess what? You probably are doing that to other people in your life. Please create an image of a serene, confident woman. I'm going to say 44-year-old woman. And then I'm going to put here, use my reference photo attached to get my facial features and look. Please do not change my facial features, skin, or hair color. Okay? With a gentle smile, sitting cross-legged. Okay? And I'm going to leave all the rest. We're going to see this magic. Okay? So you can see with small tweaks, I can do a lot of things. Now I went from make an image of a woman drinking the water to now I have like this depicts a better picture. Okay. Then I had to create a calm professional image of a woman's wellness business, birth worker getting ready in her home for a birthing class. This one was about creating more of like a feel and an ambiance. Notice the difference between that image and now her in an actual home office for a birthing class. That is the intentionality that I want you to consider when you're creating images. There's no limit as far as what we can tell uh, in terms of like how many images you guys can create. However, I do want you to keep in mind that this is more time that you're having to waste trying to create all these tweaks. But like, oh yeah, I could have put myself in the image. Oh, you know what? I would normally not place my hands just kind of like nonchalantly in the center. I would have them in heart center in like a namaste position. look at this, y'all. Look at this. It is almost finished rendering. Now, it might look like, oh, this image is going to be awful based on like what you can see behind that grade. This is pretty good. It and so now I could have been more specific. I could have asked it to change my colors of my clothes. And I could do the same thing I showed you how to do earlier, which is where I highlight this. Please place the hands in prayer at heart center. Just to make it more authentic, I could have asked it to put me in a dark teal jumper. Okay. These are all the things that I want you to start to think about when you're starting to create. So I hope this was helpful for you. And if you're like, I need these prompts, Anakani, let me know. I'm happy to give you guys the prompts for these. Now, I'm gonna go into present mode real quick, just so you guys can see these other two things. So this was, again, create a calm professional image of a Latin woman's wellness business. Soft light, neutral colors, peaceful energy, not salesy, using my brand tones, dark teal, empowerment pink, mint green. She is a birth worker doula getting ready in her home office for a birth class. And see how I put 1619? That is the dimension of this. It's like a YouTube thumbnail. It's a horizontal landscape, okay? When I said Latin woman, look how it just determined on its own bienvenida maternidad. Maternidad. It put the stuff in Spanish. What? Okay. Then I asked it to do. So this is the reason I'm doing this, just to give, like, to drive the point of the power. This second prompt is like the quality of prompt engineering for image generation that we used to have to do. A serene, professional woman, birth worker doula in her mid 30s, positioned slightly off center in a cozy, well organized home office, preparing materials for a birth class, soft natural light filtering through a nearby window, casting gentle shadows, room decorated with subtle net neutral tones complemented by brand colors, dark teal, empowerment pink, mint green accents in decor and stationery, peaceful, calm atmosphere, minimalist modern furniture, plants adding a touch of life and tranquility, photographic style with a shallow depth of field, warm, soft lighting, enhancing calm energy, Canon EO5 R5 with a 50mm f 1.8 lens, clean, polished composition, aesthetic, natural mood, not salesy, professional branding vibe. Look what it gave me compared to what it gave me with this simpler pump. I actually like the first one more than I like the second one. Crazy, right? That is what I'm telling you. I hope you guys are getting this. Like, does this make sense? That I'm telling you, we do no longer have to create these crazy prompts. You can literally, it is what's called vibe coding, to take a simple prompt and show you, like, and then ask for what you need. Let me go back to my picture request, and ta-da, it did it. But again, as we're talking about intentionality, look how many times I've had to prompt it. I'll be like, great, I love it. Please put me in a boho style dark teal jumper. Okay, I could keep going. I could change all kinds of stuff. But this is pretty good, pretty damn good if I was like using it for my yoga. I mean, it looks like I've been on my knees a little bit too long, which is why I'm asking it to change my outfit. But those are the things that I could have been more specific about when I initially gave it my prompt. As you're learning, start noticing these things. How many times is it taking you to create these prompts? Because that is the intentionality and that is the possibility scarf and curiosity that I want you to carry forward as you're playing with image. There is no right or wrong. You will learn your prompt method. You will learn, like, when I say these specific keywords, I get the better image of myself. And I go in depth into image prompting and really kind of help you get into it in a more like gentle, guided, serene way in my 12 days of magic. We just did it live and you can join now at any point. I have a wait list. I'm waiting for the people who did live to finish their thing out because there was no pressure and it was during the holidays, but I'm giving them until the end of the month. And what I really want from for you guys is to learn prompt engineering in a very intentful way. So I basically did a image vibe coding 12-day class, helping you though in the back end visualize yourself in the life that you want to live by placing, oh my gosh, wait, you guys see this image for vision casting. And then what did we do with the images? We created a digital vision board of the life that we are going to be striving for. um oh, this is it. Look at this, you guys. Those are not me. Those are all like this picture of me right here. That is real of me. Like, that's not real, obviously. I'm like there with Frida, but it is a picture of me when I was probably like 7, 8. But those are all me, y'all. I'm here in my dream car in front of my dream house. I'm just another day on my private yacht, taking a cruise with my husband, spending New Year's in Jamaica with my family, practicing and juicing in my home studio, taking a daily walk with rainbows and magicalness in Hawaii. This is just another day of me traveling the world, being a sought out speaker, living a healthy life, hiking, being with my family more. And so it is amazing if that is something that you would love to do in terms of how you're learning how to use. We use ChatGPT and we use Nano Banana, which is another image um, creator that you actually absolutely have 100% free access to, which mind blows me. Look at this. I love it. And so look how here you can scroll through. We went from this to then placing myself in there, to putting my hands at heart center, to then putting me in the most epic jumper that I would totally wear. Do you guys see how amazing this is? OMG. Like, that by itself should have been worth whatever time you have spent with me. And again, I'm happy to create a like little cheat sheet with all of these if you guys really want, but I'm not going to do it if you guys don't want it. So let's go back to screen share. All right, so just two more. Translation isn't just language. Guess what? Your ChatGPT is now your new Google Translate. Forget Google Translate. Welcome to the new translation. And in wellness, sounding correct but cold can break your trust. So it's really about learning how to use it to sound more human, more like you, the way you would actually speak. And I feel like with wellness industry, for those of us who are in the wellness entrepreneurial space, tone is part of the safety that we create in our environments, whether that's in person and online, whether you do video or you just do imagery. What you're putting out there makes a difference in terms of how people feel when they come across your stuff. So we're going to just do a simple like translation, and I'm going to show you like two ways that you could totally do this. Now, one is going to be very gentle. We're going to just do like a gentle tone, an easy process, and a clear intention. And we're going to go back to ChatGPT for this. So I'm going to go back to, because I'm in presenter mode, sorry. And that's the only thing I don't like about this. But I have this amazing, amazing software that helps me go back and forth. So in the same exact chat that I created these imagery, I said, okay, great. Please create a birth prep class handout. What did it do? It created it. Welcome. This handout is designed to gently support you as you prepare for birth. There is no right way to give birth, only informed choices, trusted support, and deep respect for your body's wisdom. Your birth team, understanding the stages of labor at a glance, early, active, transition, pushing, and birth. It doesn't, I didn't tell it that I was a birth worker or like what kind of birth worker. I just gave it this information. Now, if you're not a birth worker and you don't know anything, because I was in the medical field and I worked in OBGYN, by the way, and I'm a pre and postnatal yoga certified instructor. Like I'm a registered, so I went through like 80 hours of training to learn all this stuff. I know whether this is correct or not. Comfort measures to practice, partner and support person tips, mindset and emotional preparation, preferences and flexibility, afterbirth gentle reminders, and your final notice. Okay? Like it's ready. This is client friendly, emotional regulating, neutral and inclusive for hospital birth centers, home births, doula aligned with stepping into medical territory. Easy printing. You can put it in Canva as a branded PDF. How I recommend you to use it. Like it's crazy. And I was like, okay, now create a separate canvas. And the canvas is how it put it in this like little block here and now translate it into Spanish, keeping it warm, reassuring, and supportive. Bienvenidos está. Oh, I don't. So my Spanish is not great, y'all. I was just talking to somebody. I was like, I need to get back. Ya está credida para a compartir con calma y respeto mientras te preparas para el nacimiento de tu bebé. No existe una sola forma correcta de parir, is that how you say it? Existen decisiones informadas, apoyo amoroso y la sabiduría de parto. Escribes los nombres y los roles de las personas que te acompañarían. Yes. Okay, so this is what I'm going to show you guys. So I'd be like, you can use voice memo to now be your translator. But like, hopefully it's not crazy loud. Hello? Can you hear me? Can you read out that um I created a birth working prep class document and I really would love to hear you translate it for me in Spanish. Do you need me to give you the document? Here you go. Can OMG. You guys see how powerful this is? And the cool thing is that you could ask it to translate it like the speaking part. Say you were teaching a birthing class in Spanish, and I mean, sorry, in English, and you ended up with a Spanish speaking couple who came in, they really were needing some help, and their English isn't like great, and there's terminology that you're saying that they are just now like you could tell they are lost in the room. You can 1000% use the chat GPT in your that you have here in your hand. It works the same exact way. You push that little button there and it works the same exact way. You would be like, this is what I'm trying to I'm in a birthing class, I'm a doula, and I'm trying to communicate with my client, and then whatever it is, like I need her husband, I'm showing them a position that they can use during birth for blah 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 blah, and the position that I need her to be in is this, and then I need her partner who's here with her to use the rebozo, place it on her stomach like this, and then, you know, go back and forth in a very gentle motion. Can you please translate that for me in Spanish? And I'm going to continue the conversation anytime I ask you a question I give you something to repeat. Anytime I speak to you in English, I want you to automatically translate it into Spanish for me. And then it will just go. You can do that for pretty much almost any language. I've seen it done in Japanese. I've seen it done in whatever. Say I wanted to brush up on my Spanish because I wanted to expand my ability to teach in other languages. I have a lot of people. I live in a very high Latino community, and I'm leaving money on the table by not being able to offer my services in Spanish. And there's not a lot of competition. The people in my network also don't speak Spanish, but I know a little bit, and I know enough that I can probably self teach myself. You could 1000%, but like I'm trying to teach a birthing class in Spanglish, in like bilingual, like a Duolingo in English and Spanish. Help me learn my teaching materials in Spanish. I know how to teach it in English. That's not the problem, but I want to learn how to teach it in Spanish. And then like break it down to me so that I can learn it over the next 30 days because my next class is next month. I'm like, perfect, fine. Here's what we're going to work on. These are the things. And you would just go back and forth with it. It would become your tutor to teach this stuff. Do you guys see the possibilities? Holy moly. Yes. It is crazy, 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 crazy. Okay. So that is the translation. I hope that that just blew your mind if you had no idea. So when I was in Japan, I only used ChatGPT to translate. I used it to order food in Japanese because I would commonly go to Japanese restaurants. And so that is the power of um, AI, and it is getting better. For some things, like you had to still get someone who spoke the language to like proofread it, but it is like on point. So if you're doing a training and you have somebody who's French, you can be like, "Can you teach? I'm gonna teach you a concept, and then I want you to repeat it back to me, and translate it what I said to you, but in French, because I have a student who's in my mastermind who speaks French, and they're having a hard time understanding the concept." And they'll be like, okay, I also have a Japanese student. Can you translate that into Japanese now? You just keep going. It's crazy. If you guys want more information on like how that really works, I'm happy to do a separate training on just the translation and the voice function of ChatGPT. And so let's see. We already just did the translation demo. So you guys saw that I could translate the entire document. You can do it both written and you can do both verbally. Okay. Now, ChatGPT Go plus ads, y'all. this update is not about features, it's about the signals that are about to happen. When tools start to become monetized and they start to monetize our attention, then what becomes the biggest asset is now your clarity. And I'm huge about clarity. We've already talked about like have that clarity first before you start prompting. Think about really what you want, the type of person, the age, the sex, what they're wearing, not just the environment or what you're trying to create. Okay. Um, and I think when platforms really start to monetize our attention, which is going to be interesting to see how this works. Basically, what's happening is ChatGPT is going to start to allow people to put ads in, like just kind of how you see ads in your feed on Facebook and Instagram. They are going to start to figure out how to monetize this um, in our actual ChatGPT, which I don't know how I feel about yet. Um, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting to see um, what this really kind of means for us in terms of how it's starting to monetize and use that information to allow people to basically place ads in chat. Now, the one thing that you can understand is that you can also customize how much information you choose to share with your chat. Um, and as well as like, so if you don't, I think it automatically defaults. So setting up your chat GPT from the front, from the very beginning is super important with like privacy settings and stuff, because you have the option to choose what you're using ChatGPT, the information that is in your chat to help train, like to make it public for OpenAI to use it to train their language models. How does this become a big problem? It becomes a big problem when you have your own IP, like information that that's yours, that you maybe frameworks or certain like teaching methods or your own special unique way of doing stuff that you want to protect for yourself. Um, you can kind of control what it remembers, when it forgets, and what you end up sharing, kind of like a digital diary, which is something that you can just give it guidance with. Use the settings to personalize it, the security settings to make sure that you're giving it the permissions that you want and removing the positions that you don't. Um, and giving it the prompt when you're doing it that, remember that my audience is a woman wellness entrepreneur who values calm, clarity, and ethics. Now, oops, where is, oh, sorry. I was like, where is this going? All right. So, Google Gemini Intelligence is the last update that I want to talk to you about. And there is a difference between AI that creates for you and the AI that organizes for you. So, it's really about organization versus creating with its new like intelligence upgrade. And just because you can connect data doesn't mean that you should, is the main takeaway that you need to know. So it is about deciding what you want to share and when, just like in ChatGPT, but now it's even bigger because most of us have a Gmail. And with Gmail, you could be using your Google Drive, your Google Calendar, your Gmail. And guess what? You now have the ability to give Google Gemini access to all of that. It can help you organize, easily. It can help you stay up to date on what really needs your attention. It can help you with productivity. It can help you with a bunch of stuff. Um, but you need to just be mindful of what you're sharing. So Imagine asking, like, summarize my notes into content ideas when you're in Google. That's support and not replace me. You can summarize emails now. You can organize content, whether it's through your Google Drive, what I was talking to you about, or specific folder that you have. You can go through and have it find old concepts or old thoughts. Like, gosh, I know that I had a document in my Google Drive that I got from somebody that talked about this. I was like, gosh, dang it, I do not remember what I named it. That is very common to have as a problem. And now Google Gemini can help you with that by helping, like you describing what you're looking for. Um, it can help by sorting existing material. It will act upon things that you will give it as something to do. And then it can also recall past knowledges so that you can like bring your old ideas, like things that maybe you had put into the back corner. And if you're not sure what Google Gemini is, if you guys are still wanting to hang out, I will go into that. I'll show you like a behind the scenes. Video upgrades unleashed. Now, still with Gemini, AI can now support visuals through video, which is pretty amazing. Now, the one thing that I really want to enhance here, that AI is not your replacement. It can mimic your face, okay? Which people are afraid, like, I don't want to clone myself because I'm going to lose trust in my people. AI is becoming the new reality. Like, people are already knowing that people are going to be creating content of themselves that's not really them. But if it supports your message, that's where the trust continues to grow, not in the fact that you are using AI to clone yourself, because you're doing it with intention, you're doing it ethically. And what I tell my students is that I have no problems cloning myself if it allows me to spend more time with my family, if it allows me to be more present for in person service based classes. So, as I'm teaching AI, I'm okay with me cloning myself to create an image or an infographic or maybe like a short um, clone video explaining the same thing that I'm explaining over and over and over, if that gives me more time with my 3-year old, or if that allows me to teach more stand up paddleboard classes, or pre and postnatal yoga classes, or yoga classes for my active duty members. Why? Because those are the ones that make a difference. Those are the things that AI cannot ever replace. AI will never be able to teach like me and have that leadership, that thought leadership that I have, unless like it will be decades before it will have enough information on all those things to replicate it. And again, AI is moving at the speed of AI. I don't think that it's very far behind before people can really do like full yoga videos, um, recordings with an avatar. It is very, very close. And again, it is about how you want to use it intentionally. And there's something for those of us who do yoga, where yoga is a certain feeling when you go into a in-person class with a real teacher as opposed to watching it online. I do that out of convenience and to stay consistent with my practice. But I much rather go to an in-person class. And that is what I want you to focus on and not get too caught up. People can learn about AI on their own. Um, the information's out there. You just saw without like not providing my doula certification of completion, I 1000% could have just literally created an entire birthing class. I could have taken that document, I could have did deep research, okay, and really like give me all the information, collected all the information from all the high gurus and the people that are well known in the industry for birth like work, created a bank of knowledge base, trained an AI model, and have it create a script, an outline, a course, create a script for it, create my handouts, create my PowerPoint presentations, go clone myself, and have my clone teach that birthing class. And I would not have done anything. I could have created a clone that, to me, like, what would a welcoming, warm doula look like, and then clone that version that, ChatGPT has pulled or whatever language model, and have that be who teaches that class. They would not know if any of the information is actual or right, but they would probably get almost on point. Why? Because we're learning how to train language models. We're learning how to bring these knowledge resources of things we have no clue about and create content, create courses with. So trust is huge. And we want to continue to maintain that trust and not hide the fact that this isn't really me. When I created the vibe coding image prompting, it was simply because our brain works in pictures. And when I tell you, think of, I want you to look into the room and picture a purple elephant, and then I keep going, the first thing that's gonna pop into your head is like a purple elephant. Or I tell you a story about a purple elephant. Yesterday I was going down and we read a book about a purple elephant that goes into a zoo and everybody makes fun of him. You didn't hear nothing about the fact that it was a book and that he was in a zoo. Now all you can think about is this purple elephant, and now all you can see is this purple elephant. Whether it's by cartoon or a real one that's painted purple, however your mind and image works. And that's the point of this 12 days of vibe coding, which I called 12 days of magic, because that is essentially what you have the ability to now do. These are my clones, my visual AI clones that I created. So now when I put it up on my board and I look at it every day, it's the intentionality of like, okay, which one of these could I realistically do? I could juice I could juice multiple times a day and practice. Like, that was one I wanted to be in the best shape of my life, physically, mentally, and spiritually. I like the transformation that I started to seeing myself with juice, seeing myself in yoga, seeing myself hiking. I went hiking every day for almost like 2 weeks. It was crazy. I started juicing 3 to 4 times a week, and I haven't juiced in, like, I want to say 3, 4 years. I was craving juicing. I wanted to, like, I think about yoga all the time now. I think about hiking all the time now because I'm visually looking at it. My mind is now rewiring itself to think, how do we make these reality now? In my mind's mind, these things are already real. And so now I'm just trying to catch up to my future self. And that is the power of my 12 days of magic. So, moving forward, the big takeaways is that I want you to think of AI as it's continuing to grow. All the things that we learned about is that every AI choice should reduce the pressure that you have on your life, not add to it. If you're getting more stressed by learning how to use whatever it is you decided to, maybe that's not the best choice for you right now. Or maybe you need to go and seek out, specific training that's actually more in depth. I want you to listen to your body. It will give you you will give yourself signs that you're overwhelmed with whatever it is that you're trying to do. That is your cue to slow down. Do not, my big thing is, like, y'all, I burned out in nursing pretty much 2 times. I had 2 heart conditions when I was 25 because I was a workaholic. I know what burnout looks like. I do not want it for anybody. And the one thing that I do see is burnout is so prevalent in the women in the wellness industry who start their own businesses, who are entrepreneurs. And even if you're not an entrepreneur, just being in the wellness industry, period, has major burnout. Well, how do you think I burned out in nursing? Because we are caregivers. We put ourselves last. We don't listen to our cues. We're great at giving everybody advice, making sure that they stay healthy, but we are not good about doing it for ourselves. Take the time to listen. If it doesn't feel good, if it's giving you anxiety, take a deep breath. Okay. And I want you to put your focus crown on. Think about what you're trying to do. What's the task that you're like giving you more anxiety, headache, stress, taking time away from your family? And then how are we going to use AI to help you with that? But if it's causing even more stress, maybe that's not the solution that we need to be focusing on. There is power in taking a breath. It is completely okay to go do yoga for 10 minutes after you're getting frustrated with what you're learning. It's not coming intuitively. It's okay. No one said that it was going to be intuitive for everybody. And that's why I'm here to help you. But take a break. Take 5 minutes. Go do a breathing. Go do a pranayama. Go do a quick 10-minute yoga practice. And then prioritize yourself. Your well being comes first, always. And then learning at your own pace comes second. Again, I'm going to be doing these twice a month. And then next week, I'm actually going to be showing you how to really create things. We're going to choose one thing. And next week is going to basically teaching you how to create a simple funnel for a lead magnet using high level. I'm making it as simple as possible. If you guys feel like having a PDF with like all the bullet points of everything that we went over with all the prompts would help you, I'm happy to create that. Let me know. And I have that 12 Days of Magic. The link will be in the description later. And I have a free Facebook community where I often go live in there too to teach like micro things. Like I just found a new image creator. So before I let you go, actually, I'm going to actually just really quick finish and then I'm going to show you Gemini real quick. So spilling the AIT, again, I'm going to do it the first and the third Tuesday of each month. And then I'm going to do Vibe Code Wednesday, where the second and fourth Wednesday of the month, I'll be doing a YouTube video for actually showing you how to take all of this and showing you creating real assets with real businesses. And that is the vibe coding alchemy. So that is the other behind the scenes, basically me showing you like, this is what we're going to create. And then I literally walk you through sharing my screen, how I'm creating it. If you really want community connection, I encourage you to look up my free Facebook group. It's free. I'm there. There's a lot of resources that I'll be sharing. Like these resources that I create, if I do decide, I might just put it in my free Facebook group and link it to this YouTube channel for those people in my Facebook group. And then again, thank you for being here. I know this is time. Time is, it's priceless. It's our most valuable asset. So I appreciate, thank you so much for being here with me. You can always reach out to me on my socials at Empower Her Wave. You can check out my stuff. I put my website there. And real quick, let me show you quick Gemini. Now, with the VO3 Gemini, I will tell you that you do need to have the paid version, and I'll make sure that that information is down in the chat. So I'm in just my regular Gmail dashboard, my Google dashboard. I'm signed into my Anna Connie Walters Gmail account. When you click on this hamburger menu, you see here Gemini. Okay. And this is, you can create image just like you do with ChatGPT, but you can create a video because I'm in Pro, meaning I use my Gmail for my business. I automatically get create a video. And then it's like, okay, pick a template and you can choose the type of video that you want to create. You can do a red carpet. They have a raccoon walking the red carpet. I don't know what it's doing there. Action hero. I can make myself an action hero. I can put myself in the cosmos. Like these are ones that you can just do if you have an idea. But moving into going back to like our wellness thing. Okay, so I'm going to pull in video. Do I have one for video? Oh, you know what? I'll do the Sora. Okay, so Sora is like another image or video, and I'm going to say, based on my birthing class above, please help me create a video prompt for VO3 Gemini to promote this class. And it's going to give me a prompt. Why? Because I don't just, if you clicked on one of those things, it would give you just like, I'll show you. So I'm going to just open up another. Actually, I just used this one. So we're going to get out of here. You can, when you come here to, let me open this room, sorry. You can go to images, okay? And you can try any of these image styles. You can turn my apartment into a storybook. What does my future partner look like? Me as an emperor. Reimagine me as my pet as a human. Give them a blow cut. Style me. Create a coloring page. Remove people in my background. Create a cartoon of myself. Turn me into a keychain. Redecorate right my room. You can do like a Norman Rockwell painting. I could totally take this. You would choose an image. I'm going to just do that one because it's giving me like you chose this one last time. And then it will go for you. What I want you to pay attention to is use the uploaded image, generate a hand-painted narrative illustration in a mid-century American style based on Norman Rockwell. The scene should be constructed through painterly interpretation rather than photographic accuracy, with forms built from visible brushstrokes, softened anatomy, and warm color relationships. I want you to see the prompt that they use, okay? And then we're going to do this. So it's telling us a serene professional Latin birth worker doula in her mid-30s prepares materials for a birth class prep in a cozy, well-organized home office. She is positioned slightly off-center, calmly arranged printed handouts and notebook, and a small birth model on a wooden desk. Soft natural light filters through a nearby window, creating gentle shadows in a peaceful, grounded atmosphere. The room is styled with minimal modern furniture in a neutral tone, accented with dark teal empowerment pink and mint green details in stationery and decor. A green plant add life and tranquility. The doula pauses, takes a slow breath, and offers subtle, reassuring smile. Quiet confidence without performance. Camera style, cinematic, medium close up, on screen. Prepare with calm, birth with confidence. No dialogue. Ambient neutral room, sound only. 16 by 9, duration 8 by 12. Perfect. Okay. We're going to go back here. I'm going to go here instead of picking one of these. And what would it have done? It would essentially have created the prompt and the video automatically. This works on like tokens. So you only have a certain amount of videos that you can create a day. And I don't want to use up my tokens that way. So here's my Rockwell painting. Pretty good to me. I just did one where I made myself into a plush doll. You can make it look like we're in a camcorder. You can turn your thing into a flower petal. You can turn yourself into a gold whatever. I can have myself be in paparazzi mode. I'm gonna choose. Let's do. I don't know if I have, like, let's just do this one. Transform the subject into a high fashion press scrum photograph, surrounded tightly by cameras, microphones, and a boom mic from all directions. Preserve the subject's face, features, overall identity clearly recognizable. This subject is centered in the frame, partially obscured by overlapping microphones and camera lenses. I'm just waiting to see if it puts me in a different outfit or if it has me in the thing. Now, the video is already done. Check this out. I'm going to make it, I don't know if I can make it big. What? Now, the little mannequin heads, that's weird. Um, but it's a good start. I'd be like, remove those mannequin heads and just have me like in a yoga studio with birthing balls. You know, I could have had it changed like that. So that is the power of now VO3. Imagine how long that would have taken you to create. Crazy. You could then download this, put it into Canva, and then add your voiceover or Descript or whatever. Like, again, there I am. Okay, I hear my son. He's ready to go. Thank you so much for our first AI spilling the AI tea. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, continue to be you, continue to be beautiful, continue leading from your heart, and I will catch you in next week is the vibe alchemy, where I'm showing you behind the scenes of actually vibe coding something like an actual real thing that you can follow along. And then I'll see you in 2 weeks, basically, for the next spilling the AI tea. Okay.